welcome to The Damage Pre-Port on a big ol' Thursday. And it sounds like, based on the comments, you all know what is coming on the show today. The epic return after far too many months of Senator Nina Turner, who's going to be joining me as co-host today. And I am very excited for it. So excited that I want to make sure we had an awesome packed rundown. And thus, I'm starting the show a little bit late. We unfortunately only have like 7 minutes. So apologies for that in advance. Unfortunately, couldn't be avoided. But we do have some important stuff to talk about in this pre-port, including, I just want to give you a little bit of an update on this lawyer, again, the Trump lawyer lawsuit. So Alina Habba's one of his few remaining lawyers. We've talked about her on the show a few times. It's apparently like Trump in some certain ways in terms of the language she likes to use. I'll just say that. That'll be coming up in a bit. Hit the like button if you haven't already. By the way, so I Died in a Time Machine says, I like how John turns the cam on in the middle of a sentence. So that's not actually what happens. What happens is imagine this. Imagine I start the thing, I stare at the camera for several seconds, and I have no idea when the actual broadcast will start. It says that it started, but it isn't actually started. It takes a random number of seconds for it to actually start. And so normally I pause for 3 or 4 seconds and then I go. Sometimes that results in me staring blankly at the camera for several seconds. Sometimes it results in the stream starting several seconds into me talking. That's unfortunately the way that it goes, and there's literally no way for me to know when it's live. That's how YouTube live streaming works, and it's very frustrating. Anyway, and if it was the same number of seconds, but it was hidden, that would still be fine, but unfortunately it isn't. Anyway, with that said, why don't we jump into some of the numbers? Okay, what do we have here? We are on the COVID numbers. I don't know what's going on with the death numbers. They continue to go down on average, and yet the number is now back up to near 500. But cases look like they might finally go below 60,000. That is a number that we haven't, I don't think we've reached since maybe April. And then, hey, as predicted, national average gas prices are now down below $3.70 nationally. I mean, it dropped by half a cent again in the last day, after half a cent the day before, but that was enough to finally get the prices down below $3.70, and that's certainly something. By the way, the cent a day or whatever, that's basically nothing, the half cent certainly. But remember, we covered when it dropped below $4, and it's now 31 cents below that. And that starts to add up over the course of a couple of fill-ups. Look at Russell, $3.39. I'm still paying like right around $5, by the way, so that's cool. $4.20 in Utah. Denkar, member for 22 months, thank you. So made money. The issue with the studio right now is that something electrical needs to be changed that affects like the whole building we're in. It's not an us thing. We can't fix it. It's the building owner needs to fix it. And it's either complicated or they're taking their time or whatever. So there's literally nothing we can do. The power will not be reliable and steady until that is fixed. And hopefully it will be, hopefully today. I'd love that. Anyway, let's have a little bit of fun, everyone. You might have already seen this. I think they might have talked about it on the main show. Maybe they didn't. So just in case, here is how they decided to entertain people. I believe this was in Taiwan. Yes, in Taiwan, this is how they wanted to entertain the senior citizens in an old folks' home. That is a stripper. And getting right up on the residents of the old folks' home is that exotic dancer. And honestly, they had to apologize, okay? But what you'll notice is look at that guy. Whoa. Many of them are clapping. The guy that she's dancing up on, he seems they apparently allow far more touching during these dances in Taiwan than is generally the case here in the US. But anyway, they had to apologize. And I get it. They do their public apology or whatever. But I don't know, I feel like you're 90 years old. Yeah, maybe it could cause a heart attack. Maybe it's dangerous for that reason, but I don't know, haven't you earned it? Anyway, I want to demonstrate the grift that we try to fight here. Take a look at this. This is a tweet from Rudy Giuliani. Breaking news. The FBI seized Mike Lindell's phone. Fight back by shopping at mypillow.com. Come on, Rudy, man. The grift is supposed to be a little bit more subtle than that. A little bit more subtle. Continue to promote your products, but the line from "they're coming for us to buy our dumb thing" should be like a little bit more, just like veil it a tiny bit. Buying the pillows is not going to save Mike Lindell legally. He'll probably be fine no matter what, but the pillows don't really enter into it. And saving MAGA, no, the pillows ain't going to do that either. At least craft a narrative, craft a storyline for us, something we can get behind, because that plot just doesn't make any sense. By the way, I wanted to quickly follow up our story yesterday where we talked about the rise in international slavery. More than 10 million additional people in some form of forced labor, forced marriage over the past few years. And we talked about how the onus is on us to stop that because so many of the products that slavery is used to produce come here. Well, the EU is proposing banning products made with forced labor. Now, proposing it is not the same as actually doing it, and the devil is certainly in the details of how you would confirm it, how much investigation there would be. But that is one way to fight back against it. If the EU did it, if the US did it, then that might cut down on quite a bit of this forced labor. By the way, before we move on to our last story, I do want to reassure many of you, I know many of you have been worried by these stories about the raid on Mar-a-Lago and the idea that Trump stole classified documents and all that, and that he tried to do a coup. Well, I have to apologize. We wasted a lot of time on that story. It turns out that there's nothing to it. And I found that out this morning from Hugh Hewitt, who tweeted, "Former President Trump told me this AM that everything he took to Mar-a-Lago was declassified and that he has done nothing wrong in connection with alternative slates of electors and cannot be indicted as a result. Audio and transcripts will post soon." Well, that is reassuring because it looked really bad, but he said that he didn't do it. He said he didn't do anything wrong. So I feel better. Honestly, I shouldn't have wasted so much time on the story because he said he didn't do it. Stupid ass. So fucking stupid. Anyway, Alina Habba, enthusiastic Trump lawyer, was being sued by apparently her only black employee. Why? For using the N-word repeatedly and enthusiastically. Apparently, she and law firm partner Michael Madeo used the N-word to pump up before court appearances involving Trump cases. And honestly, I sort of get it. It's awful. Don't do it. What I mean by that is, I get that that's a thing that they would do. If you're a Trump lawyer, I bet shrieking the N-word is one way to pump you up, right? Anyway, apparently they did this. She said, the employee said, that she particularly hated that they would frequently try to rap along to rap songs, these incredibly white conservative Trump lawyers. They liked singing all this stuff. She said, the main reason I stay secluded is because I'm uncomfortable. Like, she had to watch once when Letitia James ruled against Habba. Habba stormed down the hall yelling, "I hate that black bitch." The employee says that she admired Alina Habba's strong work ethic, but feared her explosive temper. Anyway, apparently Habba also made anti-Semitic remarks about another employee, repeatedly referring to him as a cheap Jew. She also referred to people as an Arab and stuff like that. So, look, we're not shocked that this is how Trump's lawyers would act, according to these allegations. Unfortunately, the case has been settled, and I don't know the details at this point. I don't know what are the damages. Will there be a big monetary settlement? Will there be consequences legally? I would really like to see those details because Alina Habba is still being brought on Fox News and right-wing news literally every day, despite these allegations being out for some time. Absolutely disgusting. Okay, that is unfortunately all the time we have for the pre-port because right now the watch list is live. J.R. Jackson, Dan Evans as well. You can head to twitch.tv/TYT, youtube.com/watchlistTYT to watch. And then you can join me and Nina Turner herself for the Damage Report in exactly 1 hour. Hope to see you there. If you haven't already, hit the like button on the way out, and I will see you soon.